Hi, this is Justin with a much needed video about intuition. Um Now Chip Coffee could get a reading on me. Um but this is not about that. My intuition has been accurate since I've been young. You have to hear the iguana story first. That's why I call it. I call it the iguana story. I used to visit my father every other weekend, and I had two iguanas at my mother's house because that's who I lived with. And one time when my mother picked us up from my father's house on the way home, I was picking up, like, I want to call it psychic information that my iguanas were both dead in the water dish. And iguanas, as you know, they're aquatic. They're not going to drown in a water dish. And I was picking up this information on our way back to the house, which was like a 30-minute drive. And I also picked up that my mother knew this. And I'm not going to accuse my mother of drowning my iguanas in the water dish and leaving them in there dead for me to see. But that's where this is going. But as I was walking up the steps, my mother walked straight into her bedroom. And it was unusual because she knew my room was right next to hers, and I was going to walk into my room, and the first thing I was going to do was look into my iguana cage. And sure enough, the iguanas were both laying dead in the water dish. And there's no way that I could have knew that prior to seeing it. So my intuition and that psychic ability to pick up that information since I've been younger. I don't remember how old I was at the time, probably like 12 or 13 years old. Um, but another thing is that when I was over in Norristown, I knew intuitively that I was going to see Gloria in there. And I know Gloria from like 10 years ago from another place where I met her. Um, and we were in contact over the phone for a period of time before I got a different phone and changed my phone number and lost contact with her. I never hung out with her in person or anything like that. I'm not like physically attracted to her or anything. We were just keeping in contact through the phone. But then I hadn't seen her in like 10 years, and I intuitively knew that I was going to see her, and she was going to be sent to Norristown, and where I was at before this place. And about a month or two later, sure enough, I see Gloria come in to Norristown, and she's in there with me. Um, and another intuition that I picked up was when I came over to this place, I was transferred here. I intuitively knew that I was going to see Steve, and Steve and Gloria, that's his ex-girlfriend, and they've kept in contact, and she's came to visit him here. Um, but I intuitively knew that I was going to see Steve come into this place and be admitted. And about a month or two later, I see Steve in this place with me on the same unit. Um, and another intuition I was picking up is about the CRR transfer to get into a group home. And the county has a gaslighting manipulation agenda for me. They're manipulating my discharge, and they have an agenda in place, and it's manipulation by the county. And I intuitively knew that even though they were going along with it and saying we're recommending a CRR, I knew that they were going to recommend an LTSR. And I was right about that too. I went into my meeting with one of the employees that was filling in for the case manager, and she said they're actually recommending an LTSR to make sure you stay on your medication. Um, and I knew, I intuitively knew that information. I was accurate too. And then another incident hold on a second, I got this bag of Takis yesterday, and they're not the right kind, and the staff member was willing to go back to Turkey Hill and exchange them because somebody else forgot to get their cigarettes. So at first I was like, no, I'll just keep them. But then she was going to go back for somebody else. So I said, yeah, why don't you exchange them for me and get the other kind in the bigger bag? You just pay the difference if they'll return them. And then they didn't go last night, and they said that's because the supervisor has that other girl's money that she needs to get her cigarettes. So we have to wait till tomorrow to do it. And I went back after I came back to my room for a second. I went back up and I just said, "Can I just have that bag of chips? I'll just take them because I don't think Carrie's gonna approve the trip tomorrow." And I was right about that too. I just went in to get for a cigarette break, and I said to her, I still have that bag of chips if you're going to Turkey Hill today, if you're still going. And she said, oh, we're not doing that anymore. And I told her, I said, my intuition was right. I said to her, I knew we weren't going to go. And I told her that last night when I asked her for the chips back. I said, well, I don't think we're going to go, it's going to be approved to go tomorrow. So my intuition has been constantly right on point. And even down to like conversational things. Like, I know that when I'm standing around the desk, like not to ask certain things because like so I have to leave some details out of this, but some of the staff will chime in and like block or cancel out everything I'm trying to say and get done. So and I know when one of them is going to get an attitude with me and stuff like that. Like I can intuitively pick up the conversation or the interruptions that I'm going to get when I'm speaking to one staff member and another one's going to chime in. So I'm picking up intuition about conversational things as well. That is completely accurate. Um, and there's more. There's more information. I'm just trying to recall it right now. But yeah, it's a gaslight by the county, and they know. Listen, they know that I have a medical marijuana card, and they know that I have a very nice physique when I'm not on psychiatric medication, and they know that I don't want to be on psychiatric medication, and with enough personal growth, you don't need to stay in psychiatry for the rest of your life, and that's what I mean by like they know that I don't fit the criteria for their diagnoses, and it's a gaslight. Like I have good hygiene. I shower every day. I am one of the best behaved patients. I've never had a behavioral issue. And I have perfect compliance with my medication. And I made my own phone calls to get my insurance turned on, my social security and stuff like that without the help of the case manager. And I've proven my independence. And the fact that I'm on my 29th chapter book right now. And I don't belong in an inpatient facility like this. And they know that, and they're intentionally doing this to me. And that's another thing that I'm picking up on. They're doing it on purpose. They're preventing me from getting back into society and having the freedom to watch webcam girls and obtain my medical marijuana card. It's out of spite and gaslighting from the county. They are jealous of me. And if you see the other things that are going on, you'll see why they are jealous of me. And that's exactly what it is. And I'm constantly picking up intuitive information about that as well. Like the entire, I'm not going to get into some things that I want to say, because this is a public video, but so I'm just going to stop there. But I've been neglected. They've ignored me. I've requested to speak to certain personnel, employees about specific issues, and they completely ignore me. And it's part of the jealous gaslight that I'm going through in this place. And like I said, when I'm walking back to my bedroom, a lot of times they'll blurt things out about me as I'm walking back to my room. And if you would turn around and say anything in response to it, they would try to go, what, huh? Like I didn't say anything. They would gaslight you and act like you're, trying to get you to basically make you out to be mental and put you in front of a psychiatrist for further psychiatric evaluations and stuff like that. So if it's that type of harassment that's going on, the best thing you can do is act like you don't hear it and just walk away, because the employees walk around the unit and they blurt things out about me like periodically throughout the day. They're constantly doing that. And especially like when I'm walking down the hallway to my bedroom, they're back at the staff station, the front area there, and they're blurting stuff out about me as I'm walking away. And anybody that does that type of stuff, and listen, these people that are doing this, they're incredibly weak-willed people. Like, they've had problems with patients on the job where they were ready to cry and stuff like that. Like, one of them got pulled over and started crying in front of the cop. I was like, dude, these people that are doing this, organizing this form of harassment, are incredibly weak-willed people, and they're not strong. They're not. If that was, I'm not going to go into like other things that are going on, but they would be suicidal. They would be suicidal, and it's an indicator that he's a lot stronger than they are. But they wanna gaslight him and try to send him to an LTSR. And anybody with common sense can talk to him and tell that he's a rational person. He's an optimist. I'm like, even my religion is rational. Like, I take into consideration the dinosaurs, the pyramids, the story of Jesus. Like, even my religion is like rational. Do you know what I mean? And part of it is they know, like, they listen. I looked so good when I came off my medication. I got my body back, that people were jealous of me, and they wanted to be like, put him back in psychiatry and be like, he's not so hot now, is he? Look at him. Do you know what I mean? Look at him now. Do you know what I mean? Like, that type of jealousy. They wanted to see him gain weight because of how good he looked and how much progress he was making in his life. Like, I lost all that weight. I went and got a job. I was working again, and Montgomery County got a hold of me and sent me over to the state hospital. It's a complete violation of my human rights. I should have been cleared after my first competency evaluation. They kept me in there for 2.5 years. Then they sent me this place, and they tell me if you do good in there, you'll go to independent living. And it's the opposite. Instead of sending me to a CRR, they're trying to send me to an LTSR, all to make sure I stay on my medication and stuff like that. So I'm picking up intuitive information, and it's all accurate information, and the entire employment is jealous. And I'm not going to get into like details about that, but even the medical side, I requested to talk to people. They're jealous of them. They won't come see them and stuff like that. So it is nothing but a gaslight by mental health workers in Montgomery County. And that's all it is. It's a gaslight. They're jealous of them, and it's not right what they're doing to me. Dude, I got like 40 minutes, 40 seconds left. Can you please leave me alone? Like, look, listen, I gotta end this video in like 30 seconds, but for what I was going through, what I went through with my isolation in my apartment, and how I got my life back on track and started working again, and lost all that weight and got my physique back, and how much progress I was trying to make with getting a new apartment and stuff like that, and what I went through, put up with, what I was trying to accomplish, and how much I was achieving, and then for them to put me through all of this shit is not okay. It's completely wrong. That's what I'm saying. There's really sadistic people working in the mental health field that should not even be employed at all. I have to go. Thanks for watching.